I mean, he's a huge matchup issue. I mean, he's big, he's fast. You know, he's going to be, if not the top, he's one of the top blockers that we'll face all year from the tight end position. I mean, he's relentless. Obviously, everybody sees what he does when the ball's in his hand. He's kind of like the ultimate teammate. You see him cheering, like he's as excited about a play that he makes as, you know, or that his teammates make, is that when he makes one. So, no, he's just an incredible player. Obviously, one of the top football players in college football, not tight end, like top college football players. Like, he is elite level.
Is their offense different, the same from what it was before with the coordinator switch?
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of really, really close. You know, they're very systematic in what they do, how they approach the game, how the game is called. Obviously, anytime there's a coordinator change, there's just little minor, you know, adjustments or tweaks that you know that coordinator may see, but the system itself is very, very similar.
Coach, today when Mark was talking on the teleconference, he said that yesterday he told the team, you know, if you want to go places you've not been, you have to do things you've not done, and yesterday's practice wasn't up to par to beat the number one team in the country on the road. Do you think intensity of practice maybe was a little better today than it was yesterday?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit better today, but again, it can't be one day. You know, we got to come out, and we still have you know, 2 heavy prep days, and then, you know, we've got Saturday. We're in the hotel. It's a night game. You've got plenty of prep time mentally. So really, you have 3 days still left before game time to get sharper, to dial in, to hone. So we need to keep that intensity. But yes, I feel like it was definitely better than it was yesterday, and obviously something that, you know, hey, when you go into a season, right, and you know they're long seasons, and you play an emotional game, 5 games in, you know, you hit lulls, and you need, hey, like anything else, you need to be corrected. You need that adjustment, and it was great that coach made that adjustment and let the guys know about it, you know. And I thought, again, the practice today was much better in that regard.
Darian Henninger, who's the guy who's been making an impact this year, what kind of did he get out of last year not playing much, and what's been the biggest thing for him to click this year?
Yeah, and I think Coach addressed it too, probably on Monday, is, you know, in that word, again, process sort of gets, you know, thrown around, but he just kept coming to work every day, listening to Coach Stewart every day. He had to put on the weight. You know, he was down. He's put on the weight. He's put in the time in the classroom, his effort level, everything over the last, you know, 2.5 years that he's been here. It's at a sort of an all-time high in that regard. And that's a credit to him. That's a credit to not getting frustrated. Not that there were probably times in his journey that he was frustrated, right? But that he pushed through that, and he just kept coming back every single day. And that's what we try to preach, you know, with our guys, is that we've had so many of those kind of guys here in this program, and it's really across the country, that if you don't hit the quick eject button, right, you don't tap out when things get hard, you just push harder, like there's gonna be light at the end of the tunnel. And he's been a guy that's really made a lot of plays for us and contributing, and we're going to need him to continue to be that player. And I view him as a player that's going to continue to ascend, you know, as long as he doesn't take his foot, you know, off the accelerator.
The secondary is going to be tested. They played well, obviously, but they're going to be tested quite a bit on Saturday. How are they embracing the challenge? How do you think they will?
Yeah, first, we're all going to get tested. Yeah, I mean, from the back end to the front, you know, play callers, position coaches, we're all going to get tested this week. People need not forget, this is the 2-time defending national champion. This is the 10th ranked passing offense. I mean, they average almost 500 yards of offense, 150 on the ground, 330 through the air, 39 points a game. I mean, you just name it, you can rattle off the stats. You know, and they're starting to get guys back, you know, that may have been dinged. And so no, it's a huge challenge, and it's a huge challenge from the secondary standpoint. Obviously, Bowers has been mentioned earlier, but the receiving core, they're big, they can run, they're willing blockers in the run game. I mean, and they've got a lot of them. It's not just one guy or two guys. I mean, they can go 6 deep at wideout and keep guys fresh, and so no, it's a huge challenge for all of us. In a really hostile environment, and so we got to play a really, really good game. We understand that. And
Ryan, you mentioned Bowers being more a football player than just a tight end. How does it challenge you when they will hand the ball to him and let him do some things like that?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest challenge with that is, one, a lot of times you're not used to seeing a tight end get a ball like that. They'll put him in the backfield. They'll bring Dylan Bell in the backfield and they'll hand him the ball. They've got a lot of different pieces that you can sort of manipulate around. But one of the more impressive things I think people don't realize is, if you ever watch him within the field of play, obviously he can get tackled to the ground. He breaks tackles, he does that, but he'll end up on the ground unless it's a touchdown, right? But over by the sideline, I don't know if I've ever seen him tackled to the ground out of bounds. Now, he may get sort of ping-ponged all the way to where the whistle blows, and you see a lot of defenders on the ground, but ultimately he's pushed out of bounds and he's always still standing. He's got incredible balance, strength, lower body, his core. So among all the other things he does well, you have to tackle him really well, and you have to do it with multiple hats, because it's, if you're lucky enough to get a one-on-one tackle to the ground, I mean, that's a really, really, really impressive tackle.
We talked so much about Ox's weight all summer. Obviously, it didn't seem like he lost any speed on that play he chased down the running back on Saturday. Has he kind of found the perfect middle in this?
He's starting to hit his stride, and it's what we all know that he's got in there, and he played really hard, really well. That was an incredible play there on ETN. I mean, there's not many defensive linemen in this league that can go stride for stride. And again, if he doesn't make that play, basically single-handedly, that could have ended up being a big play. Now, it was his job to peel that and all, but we'd like to have some overlappers so he's not just left alone on it. But it was, we need him to continue to play at the level he's playing at right now.
What's the biggest improvement you've seen in your defense after watching the tape on Sunday?
From game 1 to now,
Yeah.
sort of how we've improved.
Just from this last game against Florida, during practice this week.
Gotcha. It's always hard to see what we've sort of improved upon, during practice, because we can't tackle the ground. I think the one thing that I am really pleased with is sort of how we're tackling right now, and that's going to be a huge deal in this game. We just talked about trying to, get Bowers to the ground, but get the running backs. Obviously, I'd like to see a little bit of improvement. Is sort of on the quarterback a little bit, in terms of his ability to scramble. Mertz made some plays with his feet and his legs, and we slid off some. And I think Beck is even sort of a step, athletically probably above. So we're going to have to do a nice job with him, and as he moves around the pocket, that we get him to the ground. And so that's one of the other things that we'll need to do a good job of this week.
How about Derek Jackson? Last year he was he tackled, leading tackle of the team, right? And it seems like he does it in a way in which you don't notice too much unless you watch him real close. He's doing the same thing again this year. What's his biggest asset? He showed
listen, he's an invaluable piece of this defense. Invaluable. And I think a lot of times that if you don't necessarily make some splash plays, if you're just, steady Eddie, right? People, that's not cool, or that's not hip. Trust me, for a guy that's calling the plays, you rely on that. Like that's an anchoring force. It's a calming force within the middle of our defense. That's why he's there. And, and I say, he's made some splash plays. The play against Vanderbilt on the interception was huge. The sack to play 2 is a huge play. There's some plays that don't ever get seen, but how he moves in coverage and minor little V cuts that where a quarterback wants to go, he has to come off. He looks elsewhere. It forces a sack. Everybody sees the sack. Nobody sees the subtle movement, right, at the second level that took him off the dig. And that's what he does. He's so smart and savvy, how he sets up blockers, how he takes on blockers. His run fits are clean. And then when he does have a mistake, he can come to the sideline and be the first one to tell you, hey, that was my fault.
Yeah, it just built my confidence really high. I've been preparing that practice, again with Coach Braves every day, going over stuff, and just practice just took it to the game. I just took what I learned in practice and just brought it into the game.
Coach Stoops and Coach White have both talked a lot this year like don't force things, let the game come to you. How difficult is that as a defensive guy out there to know you're going to get plays if you just stay patient?
All right, it's very difficult because early in the game you want to make plays right away, but you got to really let it come to you. Right, you can't just try to go in there and try to make a play, knowing you might mess up if you go in there. So you just want to let the game come to you.
Is that particularly important this week against a team like Georgia, so you don't give them mistakes?
All right, yeah, you don't want to make mistakes against Georgia, #1 team. So you got to let the plays come to you, and when they come to you, you got to make the plays.
Kirby Smart said that this game's always one of the most physical games they play, just the way you guys play and the way that they play. Has there been any talk about that this week to expect? Everybody's physical in the SEC, but Kirby said this is going to be a bloodbath, was his words. Has there been talk about how physical this game could be?
Yeah, Kentucky always been a physical team, and Georgia as well. So there's 2 physical teams that going at it. It's just going to be a very interesting game.
Is there a way you prepare different or does it just not change for you when it's going to be a physicality matchup like that?
Oh, it doesn't really change for me personally. Every game I go in there trying to be physical. It don't really change for me.
So I know you guys have been blaring that loud noise all week. How excited are you to actually be in that atmosphere?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I've never been up to Georgia, so this is going to be my first year, and I'm very excited. I'm blessed to be able to play over there, so yeah, I'm ready.
Coach White and Coach Stoops, we've asked them all week about Brock Bowers. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you've seen a lot of him on film as you prepare this week.
Right.
Coach White just said, man, it's like sometimes he doesn't even go down.
Yeah.
How do you prepare to play a guy like that? I know you got to prepare for everybody, but how do you prepare for him?
We just got to take his strengths away, like what he's really good at. We got to take it away, and we just got to finish tackles. Like we got to bring it at him when we're gonna tackle him because he doesn't even go down. So we got to really bring it to him when we're gonna tackle him.
A Georgia guy, you're from Bulldog Country. What's this one mean to you?
It means a lot. Having because that game is getting people there that haven't been able to come to Kentucky, watch me play. So it means a lot for me to have my grandparents that can't make it up here, our friends that can't make it up here, our friends that I got that attend Georgia to watch me play. So it means a lot to me.
What do you make of this environment? It's the first night road game you guys have had. It's probably going to be a little crazy.
It's going to be insane, because I can say I remember my freshman when we played them. It was on the 3 o'clock game and it was loud. So me noticing that we playing 7 o'clock is going to be even crazier. Because I'm getting inside scoop because my friends always told me all the fans going to beat us. So get ready to it be loud.
What kind of focus does that require for you guys when it's so loud and, you know what I mean? It's the #1 team in the country.
You have to have a lot of focus, going in an environment like that. Because the little things can mess you up. And also you got to be able to communicate because it's going to be real loud. It's going to be real jumpy. So, just going to that game and being real focused and also communicating with each other.
So you embrace the challenge of if you get a guy like Brock Bowers out there on the field at various points, and you just have to kind of let that come to you approach that match.
You have to embrace it because Brock Bowers is a great player, so you got to go there. But he's gonna make a play or two. So just if you make a play on you, just get up and go to the next.
You've been in this game before, and Coach Stoops and Coach Kirby Smart said this is one of the most physical games of the year, just the way both of you guys play. Is there, as being one of the leaders on this team, some new starters, is there a way you prepare them for that this week of just how physical this game could be?
Yeah, at practice, you just got to go be physical. No matter if it's a scouts game or with the ones, you just go be physical because Georgia's a very physical team. So if you go in there, being all dilly dally, they're going to make you pay.
It sounded like Coach Stoops wasn't happy with the intensity yesterday. How did you see guys respond to that today, and what do you think of this one?
So today, guys responded real good. The energy was there. Everybody was coming on, pushing everybody. Even if somebody made a play, we tell them like, hey, so on to the next. Keep playing, because we playing number one team. So no matter if we make a good play that time, we can make a bad play the next time. So just keep pushing.
Did you grow up a Georgia fan? Were you a Georgia fan?
Nah, I didn't grow up a Georgia fan, because Athens for me is like 4 hours. So I was on the Florida Georgia line, so I was supposed to like Florida, like the games.
Well, so were you a Florida fan?
Yeah.
So was last week pretty sweet?
Yeah, last week was pretty sweet to me.
So you never liked Georgia. Did they recruit you?
Yeah, they recruited me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What played into your decision to ultimately choose Kentucky?
Me and Summerall that's left, and that Troy now, he's doing a great job. We had a good connection. Also, he told me, like, if you come here, you have a chance to play as a freshman. So I came here and I had the opportunity to play.
Having a couple Georgia guys on this defense, do you guys take this personally?
Yeah, we taking it real personally. We from Georgia, and we're going to get the number one team that's in Georgia. And also, we have family coming from Georgia, so we take this personally because we don't want our family to see us play against them when we play a bad game. Like, hey man, like we came here and you had a bad game, so we take it kind of personally.